Do you know, I remember sitting on the sofa with my best friend from university when I think we'd just graduated, and I was working for Arthur Andersen, which was, to be honest, quite soul destroying, post-college. And I remember we said we'd always set up our own business, and about 4 years later, I'd helped set up the internet bank Egg, which was actually very entrepreneurial. It was the first UK internet bank. And it was there I really got the kind of entrepreneurial bug. I really wanted to start something myself. And to be honest, the dot-com boom was about to happen. And because I've got a technology background and a design background, it just made sense for me to get out and do my own thing. And I really wanted something at that time which was about people sharing their passions online, but something that was kind of quite design-led. And so we managed to get out there, raise a little bit of money through friends and family, and start our own business with my best friend, the guy I was sat on the sofa with, Eric Petterson, and also my now husband, Joe White, who was running a small web agency at the time, but was actually blagging his way from Cambridge doing his finals. So yeah, it was quite an exciting period for us. We actually, I can remember, we actually built a PowerPoint at that time. I think we called it something like For Consulting, or something really dull. But actually, we never obviously did that. It was actually when I was working at Egg and helped set that up, I really started looking to the idea of communities and the idea of collaborative communities online. There's a power of the internet, which is about groups of people sharing things together, and there's a greater power in that. And Moonfruit was really about sharing your passions online originally. Now, during the dot-com crash, we had to go back from a business of 60 to a business of 2, and actually start charging our customers for our product. In those days, the standard was you get people online and you earn money through advertising. But in those days, actually, there weren't a lot of people advertising online, so there wasn't a lot of revenue. And actually, what we found was the people that paid for our service were actually lots of small businesses, particularly creative small businesses or businesses that cared a lot about their branding. And they kind of saved us, actually. They started to pay for our product and service. And in a way, between 2001 and 2007, we really kind of grew in a very organic way, using the income from our customers to build up the business. And back to today, we're now back to a business of 40. We actually took some investment, 2.25 million of investment from the US 14 months ago. And we've grown 70% through Moonfruit in that time. We've had 4 million websites built with us. And we launched a new kind of online shop builder product, which is really a very easy, simple design-led shop builder for small businesses. Because we're seeing a really huge trend of consumers coming online and selling things too, as secondary forms of income, or just feeling that they can come out now and set up their own business. And we launched with PayPal. PayPal supported us in that because they realised that we are actually a very good way of getting new merchants and small businesses online. And since we launched in October 2011, we've had 82,000 shops built using the new product. And the advantage of the new product is you design your site once and it publishes into Facebook and into mobile without you having to do anything. And for most small businesses who are time poor, it's a good proposition for them. My boss, who actually was the launch director for Egg at the time, had also become my mentor. And when I said I wanted to start my own business, he said to me, actually, can you just stay with me for 1 more year to help launch this? And then I'll help seed you when you set up your own business, which is what he did. So actually, he actually seeded part of the business, also friends and family. And he became a non-exec director of the business, so in a way, he was my mentor through that period. Unfortunately, he actually passed away a couple of years ago from pancreatic cancer, so that was sad. But he also set up something called Zopa, which is a peer-to-peer lending site, which he actually, while I was on maternity, I helped him set that up too. But apart from that, once we'd actually raised seed capital and launched the site ourselves, we actually managed to get Bain Consulting, at the time had an incubator. They're a strategic consultancy. And during '99, they set up a small incubator for small businesses. And they actually liked what we'd done, and they invested an amount of seed capital into the business too. And where they were very useful, which was different, is that they really understood how to package up your business plan in a way which you could get further investment. And so we really benefited from their support at that time too. And then actually we went to San Francisco, Silicon Valley, and a company called Macromedia, who is now part of Adobe, also invested £1 million in us. And LVMH in Europe, the kind of fashion brand conglomerate, also invested money into the business too at that time. So we also benefited from, to be honest, an American tech strategic business that really understood technology and consumer technology, and also a brand-led business like LVMH. So I think we learned a lot from there. Unfortunately, a lot of things got cut short during the NASDAQ crash of 2001. And we were very lucky we had a good relationship with our investors, because they actually gave us, LVMH closed down 50 of their 52 portfolio companies they'd invested in. But they gave us a choice of buying back our business at a fraction of what they'd invested, and gave us a chance of carrying on. And the reasons they said they let us do that is because we already had a strong brand presence, we had real customers, and actually we'd also been very honest with them. So that's the other thing I'd recommend to people, is be honest with your investors. I mean, I think it goes without saying, the autonomy of being able to make your own decisions is mostly a blessing, but obviously sometimes a curse. It's one of those things where you never don't think about it. It's very hard to not think about it 24 hours a day. I also work with my husband and my best friend, so in our case you have to clearly try and keep a separation between your business and your domestic and personal life, but it's hard to do that. I'd say most entrepreneurs find that hard with their spouses and partners anyway. Also, in the last 12 years, obviously, we've got a family now as well. So to balance your business with your children's needs and everything else is also tough. So I'd say to anybody who's setting up their own business, be really clear what you're getting into. At the same time, I love the creativity and the freedom you have to really shift your business if you want to do that. You're not constrained by anybody else. In a way, you're only constrained by your own fears and emotional concerns, if you like. So you have a real opportunity to make a difference. I think working for somebody else can sometimes be, you feel less accountable and responsible sometimes. So I think in a way that can be not more relaxing is the wrong word, but sometimes you can let it go easier. Yeah. Equally, I always found working for somebody else, I always found it quite frustrating that I couldn't make things happen that I thought I really instinctively felt were the best things to happen. Yeah. And also you do get an opportunity to make a difference to a lot of people. So, when you're employing real people, you're creating jobs, actually, and you're impacting other people's lives. I like working, and I like actually seeing people develop as well. And you feel very responsible and satisfied and worried if it doesn't work out with them, but that's a very gratifying part of the job. In our business, we obviously help a lot of other small businesses, so I love that dynamic, that whatever we're learning, we have to share with them too. And there is a certain amount of flexibility, I think, about running your own business, about managing your day and your time that's possible as well. But it isn't for the faint-hearted. So anybody who wants to take that on, be clear, you're taking on a big project. I think, particularly in my industry, which is a technology industry, there are a couple of big success stories like Facebook, etc., which drive people to think that, they can too have £1 billion business in 2 years. For most people, it won't be like that. And we all need role models and aspirations, but I think having some good mentors and other peers who are in the same situation is really valuable. So when you get difficult periods, you can also get support and also just keep some perspective, actually. That's probably the main thing. I think get a partner to talk to. Yeah, I mean, ideally a mentor, somebody that you trust has got either previous business experience or or even worked in your industry before, and just get a sense check about what they think about what you're doing. I think if your fears are more emotional, like the fear of, will I ever get another job again? What happens if it fails? And you've researched your idea enough to think there really is a customer base for what you have, then don't be scared. I'd give that a go. Yeah, and the truth is, I can remember when I first made my jump, your biggest fear is that how am I going to survive? How about my income? And there's always ways to do that. So in my case, for example, Egg actually paid me part-time. They were very supportive. So I could start my business but still have some income stream coming in. Talk to friends and family. I mean, there's nobody like friends and family when you first start your business. Equally though, be very careful bringing your family and very close friends in with you, because you are mixing your relationships up. And really get as much advice as possible. The biggest thing is people that start up businesses are often very secretive about it. They think that if they tell somebody else will do it immediately. I can honestly tell you, somebody in the world has probably already thought about your business. The difference between you and them will be you've got off your butt and had a go at it. And I think that's the thing to do. And don't be scared of sharing it with lots of people, because it's easy to talk about things, it's a lot harder to take action. And the more you test out your idea with other people, you'll learn things, you'll discard things that probably aren't going to work. The second thing is, online is a very cheap way now of marketing your business, so it's much cheaper to get started. And you can test things out you can kind of do small tests and experiments to see whether you do have a market for your product. You know, even a simple way is even putting out a questionnaire on Facebook to say, would you be interested in this to your friends and family as a start? Putting up a holding page on a website, and distributing it through social media and saying, you know, we're about to launch, you know, this new service or new shop or new product, whatever it is you're offering. You know, email, you know, give me your email address here if you're interested, because you get a sense check of the market. And ultimately, you know, prototype something up and put it up online, or even if it's an offline thing, same thing, you know, test out your proposition to see whether there's any legs behind it.